So welcome back to our first English lesson of this week. And what we're going to begin with is we're going to think about boxing up our writing, our biography. I'm going to show you how when I came to box up to plan from the model text, what I did, what I thought about, what information I had to find in order to build the box up, and then how I made the notes, which then were used in order to build the model text itself. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to follow the same examples of how I did it in order for you to box up for a biography about Shakespeare. So let's have a look. So this is our box up for a biography. We've got the introduction, their early life, including education, where they were born, key events, links to a career, so the bit between their education and when they got their job. Then their working life or career, and that might include life-changing moments or key events. Then you've got end of life, so what events led up to their death, and any key events that happened within that. And then obviously a conclusion or summing up of information and why that person's important. Now, when I did this, I did it in a particular way, knowing what I was trying to do. So I don't start by planning the introduction or the conclusion, because in order to plan those two, I kind of need to know what the information is that's going to be in the biography. So I start by looking at early life and links to career, because that's the start of it. That's helping me understand what's going on. So I look at where and when they were born, their education, and any key events that happened during their early life. And then what linked from that to their career, how did they get into their job? Now, I would go on to do working life career, but that's going to be your biggest one. So what I actually suggest today, the starting point, is that you also then do end of life. So you do early life and links to career, then end of life. Leave the massive chunk, which is working life and career, the big part of the biography, for tomorrow. Because when we do that, that'll be your main part, and then you'll do two little bits, which are the introduction, conclusion, your summing up of information. Those two bits are relatively small, but also you have all the information you need to do that rather than going away and having to look at it. So it's a matter of, because when you're doing a biography, you have to go and do the research to know what you're putting into the biography. So what I'm expecting you to do here is you take these three parts, go away and look at the information, write down your notes so that on later in the week you have time in order to do that. Okay. Now, what you're going to get, how it's going to work is you've got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to do the box up. Okay. And that's work in the afternoons as well as during the lessons. And we've done that so that you've got enough time to do it, because I know that the research can take quite a long time in deciding what you want to write. And then Thursday and Friday, Thursday you'll get a video which will set the task, which is to write your biography. And then you'll have time on Thursday and Friday in order to write it. Now, I don't want all of the bits every single day on Tapestry. All I want is at the end of the week, your final biography and final box up to go up. And that's it. I want to see the final piece. I don't need to see the bits in between. Okay? So let's have a look at how this would work, or what I did when I was thinking about writing the model text. So the first bit, obviously we don't need to think about the conclusion today. We'll do that tomorrow. But we are going to look at the early life, and that's this section here. So what were the notes I had that led into this? Well, the first note was where he was born, so in Canterbury on February 26, 1564, and that was actually when he was baptized. And you can see that that's this bit is this first sentence, but also I've added more detail into the sentence. This is just notes. These are just the notes that help me write it. The next thing is about his school. He went to King's School, so I've put that there. I've also said he got a scholarship to Corpus Christi College in Cambridge, and I've given the dates. So actually, those three notes that I've got there make that entire first paragraph. Then we've got a key event that happened, and what you'll notice is the key event is a paragraph on its own, and that's quite important and helps us. So the key event is that he got his degree in 84, but his master's in 87. The uni had doubts, which you can written in more detail here. And there was, from the Privy Council, a letter that said this. Now, what you'll notice is the quote I've written the entirety of, and that's because it's a quote, so I need to have it word for word. It need if you're making a note of that, you need to write the entire quote down so you can put it straight into it exactly how it's written. You can't change a quote to your own words. It needs to be what is said. But the rest of that obviously makes up the rest of this part here, makes up that last paragraph there. So you can see what I've done is that these are all notes in my box up that then lead into writing the two paragraphs that are there. There's nowhere near as much writing in my box up as there is in my actual paragraph itself. So it's just one of those things that you need to learn how to make notes effective, because that's what's going to help you write it. But also, the problem that some people have is that what you'll do is you'll go away and find the information and then almost copy that information down word for word. And the problem then is that it becomes plagiarism. You're taking somebody else's writing and saying that it's your own, which you're not allowed to do. And you need to get into the habit of rewriting that sort of thing, because then you make it your own. And by changing it and making it your own, you're able to write about it. If you use somebody else's work and were to try and do something with it, i.e. put it on the internet or anything like that, you can get in trouble under plagiarism and copyright rules. So it's just thinking about what you're doing with your information and that sort of thing. The next section we're going to look at is this bit here, and this is the links to career section. So how he went from his uni degree into being in London and writing full time. So what we had is that we knew he worked for the Privy Council, but we didn't know what he did, and there was speculation of being a secret agent. Now I've put the word speculation in there because it's a nice, interesting word, and I want to use that, which is why I've got it in my notes. I will also say who he's working for. So he's working for Sir Francis Walsingham's intelligence service, or at least that's what we believe he might have been working for as a secret agent. And then the next bit is we still don't know what he was actually doing. So we still talk about the idea that it's still unknown, really. And then we have that final bit of move to London to write full time. And you can see the notes are nowhere near as much as what we've got, but give all the important information that I then write up in my actual writing. And this is what I did when I was actually writing it. Looked at the notes, looked at the key points, and then wrote it up in my own words in order to get the point across in that way. This bit is all about his working life, so we don't need to worry about it. But when we come down to here, we do have this part here, which is his end of life, which I'll talk through in a minute. We've actually starts off with a key event, which is on May 30th. Marlowe's killed by Ingram Fraser. Another important bit that goes into that is there was a fight over the bill the day after, after a day together, he was stabbed in the forehead. So it's all the information that we need for that first paragraph, the important part about his death. And then we still have the last bit, which is that we just know that there are theories that link his atheism and spy. Maybe it was a murder. That's why it's got a question mark, and it's still debated. So what we're doing is just trying to pick up the key points of the things that we want to talk about in this paragraph or two. And really, your notes are just the key points, those things that you're going to talk about when you write that bit. So the reason why I've given you a long time to do this is not because the notes are difficult to make, but it's that you have to do the research and then make good notes that then you can write from in order to write your actual biography. So it's the skill of looking at research and making notes that are going to help you write it. Notes aren't all the information. It's just the key points, just those key couple of words that are going to help you remember what it is that you wanted to say. So your task, you need to complete these boxes in your own biography about William Shakespeare. You'll need to do some research in order to find out the correct information to use. This is what will take some time. So what I want you to do is make sure you take enough time to do that, which is why I've given you 3 days. Tomorrow in the lesson, I'll talk through the other 3 boxes that we haven't done today, So don't rush it. Take your time. You have until Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to write it. And then on Thursday, we'll talk about actually the writing, and you can start that on Thursday and Friday. Okay. Good luck with your research. I look forward to seeing the final piece at the end of the week. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.